Hello everyone, and welcome back to Technically Unsure, where I'm not really sure what I'm doing technically.
We have technology.
Today we are going to take a look at a completely different type of SBC. This SBC is from a company that's been impressing me a lot recently. Of course, I'm talking about Raxa, and the board we are going to check out today is Radxa NIO 12L. I haven't even opened it. That's how it arrived. For a change, it's not using, Raspberry Pi CPU, of course. It's not using any ROC chip. This bad boy uses MediaTek Genio 1200 SoC, and this SoC does have 4 A78 cores, which does have like 2.2 up to 2.4 gigahertz clock speed, and 4 ARM Cortex-A55 cores, which does 2 gigahertz and used mainly for like background processes and stuff. And there's also an onboard GPU, which is ARM Mali G57 MC5 GPU. And also additionally, there is APU. So it does have dual core AI processor, which can do up to 4 TOPS. And there is a single core hi-fi for audio engine DSP, digital signal processor. And also this SBC comes with LPDDR4 RAM, which can go up to 4266 MT per second. It does have 3 RAM configuration, 4 GB, 8 GB, and 16 GB. As you can see, I bought the 8 GB version for RAM and 128 GB for internal eMMC. This can support 2 displays, and one via HDMI, one via the USB Type-C if you have that USB Type-C DisplayPort adapter. There is also one more MIPI DSI, but you can use just 2 at the same time. You can't use all 3. The HDMI and the DisplayPort over USB-C can do 4K 60 frames per second, and MIPI DSI can do 2K 60 frames per second. In terms of image processing capabilities, if you want to use it with cameras, if you use a single camera, it can do 48 megapixel at 30 FPS. And if you go with 2 cameras at the same time, it will be able to do 16 megapixel at 30 FPS per camera. And in terms of video encoding, decoding stuff, it can decode 4K at 90 FPS, 90 frames per second, and it can do encoding with 4K resolution, 60 frames per second. So let me take this out and tear it. That's the SBC. MediaTek Genio 1200, that's what I was talking about, where high efficiency meets AI efficiency. Okay, these are the things that we talked about based on MT8395. It can go up to 16 gigabyte RAM and 512 gigabit internal UFS storage. I bought the 128 gigabyte version for the internal storage. My knife, and gently, actually there's a hole over here. There you go, that's more than enough. All right, oh wow, that's big. Okay, there's nothing else in the box, okay? That's a lot of antennas, and that's a chunky Wi-Fi chip. You see that? It's beautiful. And yeah, so this one, the single one, this is Bluetooth antenna. That's Bluetooth, and these are Wi-Fi dual channel. So this one is 2.4 5G, and this one is 2.4 5G, Wi-Fi 2, Wi-Fi 1. It does have 2 Wi-Fi. So let me grab my pointer. That's the beautiful color-coded Raxa. That's that you see that always in the Raxa boards. So GPIO is the regular typical 40-pin GPIO. The one on the left is DSI, so this is LCD, it says here, for display. And there's a camera one, so this is CSI, micro SD slot over right here, okay? And this one does have Wi-Fi 6 and Bluetooth 5.2. That's awesome. This one right here, as you can see, this is the UFS. It says right there. That's the UFS, and eMMC is not populated, so there's a potential over there. And these two are the RAM and MediaTek MT8395. That's the SoC. Let's go through the I/O. So these three, 1, 2, 3, are 3 USB 3 ports, which is awesome. And there is this one is USB Type-C, and this is OTG. So you can connect also USB 3 display port to this one, and it can do 4K at 60 FPS. And this is the HDMI port that we talked about. This one is also able to do 4K at 60 FPS, okay? There's the 3.5mm audio jack in here, and this one is Type-C, 5 volt only. So this is only 5 volt, it doesn't use other voltages, okay? And this Ethernet is gigabit. I'm so used to new boards having 2.5, now gigabit is let down for me. Anyway, there's another USB 3 over here, and then there is another HDMI 4K at 60 FPS over here. So this is HDMI input, by the way. This is, you can input an HDMI device to this, and that one is output, so this is input. Keep that in mind. And on the back there is only one, and that's the second camera, so MIPI CSI2. So one camera here, one camera here, so you can connect two cameras. NIO 12L version 1.3, so keep in mind that's what I'm reviewing. And by the way, I bought this, right? So it's not sponsored or anything. I bought the device. I'm just going to go through it because I like it. Okay. Yeah, so so good things are over. I have some little tiny bad news about this board to begin with. Hopefully bad news will end here. So from what I heard, I contacted Raxa and I said, I'm not able to boot anything from the SD card, and there's not even an SD card or image or anything. So they said it's the limitation of the SoC. You can't boot from the SD card, you have to boot from the UFS. So what that means is we have to follow the guides and documentation that they have on the website that they have, and I have to connect this OTG port to my computer, and there and only there I can use the tools that they have provided, Genio tools. So as I said, this is the MediaTek Genio, right? So Genio tools. There are a bunch of tools, Python based, I think, because I sell a lot of Python packages in there. So I apparently have to install their tool and then flash like Android image and Yocta or Ubuntu image into this UFS, and that's the only way it boots. I told them, so what is the purpose of the SD card? They said with the SD card, it's just a user expansion, the storage is for the user. So you can store user files in there, okay? So if you plug a USB, I don't know, I'm just saying, if you have a camera recording HDMI or something, you want to store files in it, you can do it with the SD card. You can't boot from the SD card, at least so far. For now, I don't think they can fix it or improve it or change it later. I think it's not possible apparently because of the limitation of the SBC, but yeah, you can use those tools and flash the OS image into this UFS and boot it from there. I'm not gonna do it on my own. We're gonna do it together, and I will share my screen, and if it fails, it fails, and you will all see it. If it works, it works.
And then you run wires that connect them all, and again, it just works.
So officially they provide Android, Ubuntu and Yocto images, okay? I think I will start with Android. It usually goes smoother, and then I will skip Yocto, whatever. I just go Ubuntu. So let me wire it up, turn on my computer, let me install those tools, and then we flash OS image into this and boot from it together, okay? I will be right back. Okay, so we are back. What I did was I basically just put a heatsink on here and connected the mouse and keyboard, Ethernet, HDMI. That's it, right? I brought out my USB-C OTG cable that is connected to my main computer, which I am going to share my screen and you will see what I'm doing, okay? We'll do everything together. So here's the download button. So you have to hold it and plug that in when it's needed. So first, as I said, we are going to try the Android, and let's run their flash tool. Oh, this is a Qt app. Yeah, I have experience with apps like this. So when you see Qt apps that does not have the proper UI, it's usually the scaling issue. So they have to write a better code. I'm sorry, it's going to look a lot tinier on the screen. I will try to zoom in post. But yeah, this happens when, yeah, you see now it is visible. So yeah, the scaling thing when you're writing code in C, C++ and using Qt framework, you have to do additional work to support the scaling. Anyway, so we are going to go back, and I downloaded N12 HDMI Android image. We are going to select the XML, whatever XML file. And there you go. So it is going to load this app, and I'm going to say, yeah, download only should be fine because it's brand new. I didn't install anything on it. So what we are going to do is we are going to click on download, and it is waiting for us. So I'm going to hold down this download button and plug the cable and let go. There you go. So it detected. Oh, okay, there you go. Now it is flashing Android image into this board, and we are going to go into fast forward mode. Okay, so we are done. I take out the OTG cable. Now I want to power it on, and I want to also record the screen. So let's switch to that. Okay, I am going to power it on. For power, we are going to use the other USB-C port, obviously, this one, right? Okay, let's see if anything shows up on the screen. Power consumption is right over here. Hope you see it. If it boots up, you should see it. For now, nothing is happening. Okay, I saw some movement. Let's give it some time. Okay, so anyway, it's not booting. No matter what I do, it just keeps going 0.1 amp and just comes back. It doesn't boot. As you can see, it jumps between 0.1 amp and nothing. So it is, no matter what I do, it just doesn't boot from the, okay, it's now doing faster. Very quickly switching 0101, and I don't think it is going to boot. I mean, there is nothing showing up on the screen. Yeah. Okay, it doesn't work. I give up. All right, I am taking it out. So Android image, I have to contact Raxa or something. It doesn't work. Now it's time to bring back the OTG cable. This time I am going to try and flash the Ubuntu image. I'm gonna close this. Let's go to this classic desktop, and you just basically what you have to do is just open up command prompt here. Okay, and Genio flash, that's it. Okay, you run that, and it is again waiting. So we hold the download button, that's right here. Okay, and this OTG port, hold down the download button and plug that in. There you go, and leave it. So now it will start flashing the Ubuntu image into the UFS in here. And when it's done and everything, in order to make sure that it's not thermal, throttling, I will insert this. I know it's not exactly a proper fit, but that should be good enough. The room is very cool, and there's a chilly air blowing this way. Let's go into fast forward mode. Okay, so it's done. I am taking away the connection. Now let's go back again to HDMI, and I am going to power it on. Okay, so that's it. Now we are booting into Ubuntu. Okay, so default password is Ubuntu, and it forces you to change the password. So I put Raxa 123. Anyway, it doesn't matter. So we are logged in, and yeah, looks like everything is in order. And I am going to put this on just in case, okay, just in case. Yeah, at least some more extra air circulation going on near the heatsink. So let me open up the terminal, and also this display is too big. Let me make that smaller. Display, let's go with 1080 for now. Okay, I just want you guys to see everything I'm doing. Later when we're doing video stuff, we can put it back. So Raxa 123 apt update. Okay, so there is no abnormal you know, Ubuntu apt mirror list or anything. It's the default stuff. So give me a couple of minutes. Let's go into fast forward mode. I am going to install a bunch of tools, and then we are going to start doing some benchmarks on this. Let's go into fast forward. Okay, so I installed everything, and it's not reading the temperatures for the CPU in this Ubuntu. We can only see it over here, but that's also still CPU usage and free memory, and P sensor doesn't do it, and sensors doesn't do it. So I can't read the sensor temperatures. It's not working. It doesn't matter. Let's keep going. Let's do a couple of tests very quickly. Let me do starting with the iPerf 3. Okay, and also you see the power consumption. That's 1 amp, 5 volt, 1 amp. Honestly, that's very efficient, very efficient. It's not even using 5 volt, 0.67 amp. So that's very good. And it's 1 gigabit Ethernet bidirectional. So truly gigabit Ethernet. And let's do a sysbench. I want to see the threads equals 4 core, 4 threads. So let's go with 4 and see how it goes. CPU run. Oh, wow. Okay, so that's the first chip that I'm seeing that's scoring 10,000, just like Raspberry Pi 5 and RK3588S and those SBCs. So it's in par with them, but honestly, I think it's more efficient. Look at the power consumption. When I'm running it, it doesn't go, okay, 1.4. So yeah, it's good. It's good, very good. Score is very good. Let's do a stress NG as well. Actually, I just noticed something. When we are doing stress NG, the CPU usage is not going all the way. I'm going to do it with 8. I want it to be 100%. Yeah, now, okay, I'm gonna repeat the sysbench as well. So 4 core, it does have 2 quad cores, right? I guess we are also using now the background processes. Let's see how it goes. Let's see how it goes. Okay, so we are done. 1427. Okay, so that's good. Similar to Raspberry Pi. Let me see if I do the sysbench again with 8, what score are we going to get? Okay, so we beat Raspberry Pi 5. Okay, so when you use all the cores and do 8, this is beating by 4,000 points on sysbench test, beating the Raspberry Pi 5. Okay, so this is very good. Let me try, obviously, actually, I'm taking that back. I'm not saying obviously. We are going to, because I always think that it is going to crush this, crush that, do this, do that, and turns out not true. So I've seen enough share of SBCs that are just let down. So let's see. Before that, I forgot the NeoFetch. So yeah, Ubuntu 22, Arch 64, and CPU is detected, but I don't see the GPU. I don't see the GPU, and this is official image, by the way. I didn't install anything. This is Raxa provided image. So yeah, I'm sorry if YouTube doesn't work or it doesn't do a good job in rendering. It's on Raxa. Okay, let's do 4K demo. My favorite video, the one with honey. Yeah, right there. Okay, stats for nerds. Let's just go all the way for 4K and see what happens. Okay, it is dropping frames. I was not expecting that. Honestly, I was not expecting that. And remember, my resolution is 1080p, 1080, so 1920 by 1080, and it's not able to play the 4K at 60 FPS. And if I drop it, how about 1440 at 60 FPS? Wow, no bueno. It's dropping, less frames getting dropped at 4040, but it is still dropping. How about 1080? Let's go with 1080. Much less frames getting dropped, but it is still dropping the frames. I assume it's related to driver. I don't see that being installed in here. Even the sensors is not working, but it is what it is. This is an image that they have provided. So let me see. I actually received this from Raxa. It's not released. I don't think you will find it online right now. It's not on their wiki page, but you take it from here if you want. I am going to try, I don't know, some random GPIO. They have the GPIO numbers in here. So I guess I'm gonna go here. So 489. First I have to find it. So let me take this out. We're not going to put enough pressure on the CPU. Okay, so I have the multimeter. Okay, so first let me make sure I have the 1 and 2 correctly. So let me see if there are any markings. Yeah, so that's the 1. So that's 1, but I'm going to still test it. So this is going to be 0. Let me plug that in. Okay, so this is going to be ground, and this first pin should be 3.3 volt. Let me confirm that. Yep, so that's 3.3 volt. Okay, now I am going to do with this pin 489. So that's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, so I have plugged here 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So here, and that's the 489. Okay, so let's try that out. Let's do echo 489 to sys class GPIO export. Okay, and echo out for the direction, and keep an eye. Oh, it's not even on the visible on the camera. Let me see. It's okay, now it's better. All right, so echo out to sys class GPIO 489 direction, and the value is going to be 1. There you go. Okay, so value is 1, value is 0. There you go. All right, so this one, I hope they will share it soon with public. I just emailed them, asked for it, they sent this back to me. they said they are going to release it and update it on their wiki page. Okay, so this seems to be a very powerful board, honestly, very low power consumption. And by the way, keep in mind, you see now it's dropped to 0.6 amp. Those one amp was probably the fan. So if I do the test again, the sysbench again, so you can see, okay, no, so that's still 1.4. Yeah, so 1.4 when you're using all 8 cores to max to 100%, then it goes to 1.4 amp. When it's idle, it's 0.4 amp. And that's very, very good. And you have like the 40 GPIO and SD card. I didn't actually test it. You know what? I'm gonna test it. Hold on. I just grabbed a random SD card. Hopefully there is nothing special on it. I'm just gonna plug that in. Oh, yeah, okay, all right. Yeah, so that works, okay? So if you want to, Gparted is installed? No. So if you wanted to use the SD card to boot, that's not possible. But if you want to use the SD card as an expansion, as a storage, you can absolutely do that. And as you can see, as soon as I plugged in, it showed up on my computer. So the 4K one is a little bit let down. I'm sure it will do better in the Android one, but I couldn't get it to work. Yeah, so yeah, Gparted, let me see. So that's the 128 gigabyte internal storage. And this is my SD card, okay? So yeah, that's my SD card. It's probably from some other, video. Okay, I want to see F-disk, let me see. So the internal UFS is where? That's the, hold on. Let me open up Gparted again. That was dev SDC, SDC. Okay, so yeah, this is SDC. All right, so let me do hdparm-t-direct dev SDC. Let's see the speed a little bit, how it does. Okay, so 387 megabyte per second. So that's very fast, and that's expected, right? UFS flash is right here, and it's the UFS soldered on. I don't think you can, I guess you can try to remove it and put in a different one. I'm not sure if it will work, but yes. They already sell. So they already sell 128, 256, and 512 gigabyte versions. So yeah, this is doing fine. You can absolutely use this. Oh, one thing we didn't do, we didn't check was the Wi-Fi. So hold on, let me put the antennas in proper order. Let me try to connect to Wi-Fi. Okay, I'm going to remove the Ethernet cable. All right. Going to select the network. Okay, so I am connected to Wi-Fi now, and as you can see, Ethernet is plugged out and it's not connected. And let's confirm that. And yes, Ethernet does not have, and this is the Wi-Fi IP address. Okay, now let's do the iPerf test again. iPerf 3. Okay. That's good. 800 megabit per second. That's good. Yeah, so we have a great Wi-Fi speeds as well, and Bluetooth, as you saw, that Bluetooth is also working. So GPIO works, Ubuntu works, flashing works. Wi-Fi is very fast, 800 megabit per second. Read-write speeds to UFS is 350. And HDMI works, streaming works, it just drops frames a little bit, but still was playing it. I believe the GPU driver is not there. And yeah, in terms of Ubuntu, I'm going to say it's doing fine. I don't think they ship with any examples. Yeah, it doesn't have any custom examples like with GPIO or anything, but seems like it's working fine without any issues. Let me install a couple more tools. I will be right back. Okay, so we are back, and would you look at that? I got the Android to work. So here's the deal. in order to do that, you have to run a command that they have it on their wiki page, which is erase. So you have to erase the flash and then do the download and install of the Android image. And the other thing you have to do is, after erasing and flashing the Android image, you have to hold down the power button probably for, I think, like 6, 7, 8 seconds. It took me a while. Until you see something on the HDMI output, you have to hold the power button, which is right here, okay, right next to the green light. So if you install Ubuntu, you have to go to a Linux machine and run their erase UFS command. That's on their wiki page. And erase the flash and then flash the Android image to the flash. So a lot of flashes, okay? And that being said, let me show you what I got working. So this is the Android, right? And this is the settings. And if we go to the about, you will see that it is Raxa G1200 and it is Android 11, and that's the IP address. By the way, that's Wi-Fi. So as you can see, this is not connected. So it is connected via Wi-Fi, and it's been working great. I didn't spend time, I'm going to be very honest, it's not a lot of work, but I didn't spend time to set up the YouTube. It's complaining that Google Play Services is not there. You can use the older APK version, or get rid of or install the Google Play Services. That being said, let me just show you, okay, let me just show you a couple of things. Let's say to go to the Chrome, okay, and in the Chrome, I am going to show you this. Just look at this. It is playing a 4K video, and as you can see on the right, it is barely dropping a couple frames, and that's mainly because we are doing it in Chrome and not in like YouTube native app. So it has been doing great. It's playing 4K videos with no problem, with no issues whatsoever. This is not related to video. Yeah, as you can see, it's playing videos, dropping some frames, but again, it's because it's Chrome. If we run a native app, it won't have this issue. So let's continue. Another thing I found, by the way, that RX video, I was asking, like, what is that? What is the RX video? So you open it, there's absolutely nothing, it's blank screen, but then it hit me. This is the HDMI output and this is the HDMI input, right? So I connected HDMI cable to my work laptop, and look what happens. I plug that in. Let's see. Okay, there you go. So I am going to mirror my screen. There you go. So yeah, this is now, I'm sitting on far away from the monitor and keyboard. This is my work computer, and it's working. And this is what you're seeing on the screen. As you can see, this is the Android output, okay? So your Android video is capturing this, and you can record this and everything, okay? So HDMI input works, Android works, and video playback is working, HDMI input is working, and and I was able to get the Android to work. So what I'm gonna say is this is a very, very impressive board, an impressive SBC. Android works, Ubuntu works, Yocto works, but it is a little bit for power users. And you don't have to be really, very advanced. You just have to be able to, spend some time to flash stuff in the UFS and then boot into it, because as I said, SD card does not work, okay? So you have to run and install Genio tools in Windows. In Linux, same story. You have to add, some USB UID, VID stuff to the etc config stuff. Anyway, if you go through their guide, it works, okay? You just have to spend a little bit more time and be more patient. It's a little bit tricky to get everything to work, but once it works, low power consumption, and it is very fast. It is scoring, as you saw, 14,000 in Sysbench, which is higher, much higher than the Raspberry Pi or Raxa 5A, 5B even. So yeah, and GPIO is working. As I told you guys, this is the mapping. I'm sure Raxa are going to put it on their webpage, but right now it's not up there. Yeah, I just wanted to share this beautiful and amazing, impressive board with you guys, and hope you enjoyed this video. Please let me know what you think down below, and I will see you in the next video. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.